Okie dokie, so we are ready for round 7. I'm going to carry it. Dave's just sorting some stuff out with the cameras. But we have got serial top 8er, Archeus Dota.
We do.
So both of these players 4-2. I spoke to Arc earlier. They were 2-2. They have won their last 2, so they've gone to 4-2. Didn't want to join the rebound. Just thought, send it in the main.
Doesn't even need the points.
Doesn't need the points. Doesn't need the top 8, but playing for the love of the game. They are actually moving to Japan soon. I did speak to them earlier, but they're going to come back for the Invitational, so hopefully we'll see them there. Please let Axion know that this coverage is what you want and is good, and showcasing the UK competitive magic is what we need to be doing. We've got a great scene here in the UK. Please let them know that this is what you like and this is what we want. My name is 11zmtg. I'm joined by Oldie Modave from the Oldie Modave YouTube channel. Obviously, we're streaming over there, but we're also streaming on the Will Hall Twitch channel. Please subscribe to us on the YouTube, subscribe to Will on the Twitch. Every piece of money that Will raises through his Twitch does get sent to the Ukraine effort. So, doing this for a great cause, as well as showcasing some competitive magic in the UK. And this is live as well. I know that regulars of the Will Hall Twitch channel
Don't expect it at all.
Might not be used to the live experience, but Arc is on Black White Blink, I believe, but I could be wrong. So a Thoughtseize here. Will doing his usual of keeping one landers, but we can get a Surveil land to try and smooth that out. Solitude and Ephemerate as well, but Thoughtseize might start tearing this apart a little bit. Obviously, if Will gets nothing but lands off the top of his library, then we're going to be in a nice little position here to start grinding away, drawing a lot of cards with Ketramos and Philia, and Flickwisp is a little bit of interaction as well.
Yeah, definitely not going to be a quick one, this.
No, these can sometimes degenerate into the Belmer grind fests with
resource battles,
Solitudes being traded back and forth, and Emperor of Bones exiling the Solitudes and fighting over the Emperors because of that. So, we haven't seen Archer's hand, but we'd assume they're working with something vaguely similar. These are one of the matchups where being Esper isn't as valuable in some ways, because Psychic Frog Black-White has the answers to it cleanly. They have Prismatic Ending, they have Fatal Push, they have Solitude.
Yep.
The Quantum Riddler that we've seen from Will's deck, if you can stick behind that, it's essentially going to be an extra Overlord of the Baelmerk in this matchup, where you can just grind away and get loads of cards out of it. So Witch Enchanter being played as a land, so Arch doing their best Death Shadow impression here, down to 13 already.
I'd love if they just slammed it now and went, surprise!
So an Overlord milling 4 cards. So we see a Solitude, a Philia, a Relic of Progenitus, and a Boggart Trawler. So if Arch is in need of that third land, they can pick up the Boggart Trawler, which is what they do. And there's a Solitude and a Philia stored away in the graveyard that isn't under immediate threat from an Emperor of Bones. We can't see one in Will's hand. And thank you to Will for playing with your hand revealed, doing everything you can to help the coverage team. We love you.
What a legend.
Meticulous Archive being found off that fetch land as well. So continuing just to smooth out our draws. If we see land Ketramos here, we can start running away with it, assuming Arch doesn't have the Solitude to answer that. But you at least always get the card off the Ketramos being Solituded.
Which deck have you been playing recently?
I've been playing the Asper version. I am a Psychic Frog mark through and through.
Psychic Frog is like your stand card.
Yeah.
Whereas
if anyone's ever seen me play Magic, the chances that I've got Psychic Frog 6, Life from the Loam, Seismic Assault in my deck are probably way too high for each of those individual cards. And yes, I have played a deck that has all of those in them. It did not go super well. The mana was weirdly easy, but the rest of the deck just didn't function, unfortunately. I tried my best. So Archer's that Overlord ticking down. Obviously, quite a nice threat to have. Any Flickerwisp is now live with it's definitely going to have a good effect. So Solitude, exiling the Philia.
It makes sense.
We can tap the Relic, draw an extra card, so we're at least going to be drawing 2, losing 2 here. So Relic U, one of them missed by the look. So if Solitude exiles a Ketramos, the Ketramos does actually see itself get exiled.
You get the draw.
I think we'll just correcting the life total there because you do gain the 4 life off of the Ketramos being exiled as well.
Just a quick note that we did have 2 6-0s going into this round. So let's see, Leo, who we saw earlier on Titan, continued their winning ways. They
6-0.
They 6-0'd out,
Oof.
which is stellar work.
And they have taken the ID. So they think they can at least get secure for top 8 or very close to it with that ID.
Yeah. There's always interesting maths when you play these bigger tournaments where like suddenly at like 144 players this happens, but at 146 players this happens. So
yeah, to be honest, I can't do the maths when it's a 17 player RCQ and I'm 4-0 and I go to one of my friends and I'm like, can I ID? And they're like, yeah, of course you can. You're an idiot. But I think as Jack mentioned as we were talking, it's more of a case of like you play this game and try to win, and then you reassess because like the math plays out in weird ways, and especially because of the invitational point consideration. I think a lot of people keep going where they shouldn't, and therefore it like helps breakers and all that kind of stuff. So you're a lot more volatile to strange goings on. Ultimately, I think a really good way to keep players playing your tournaments, though.
It's great.
Do this feeder series, have the league point system, make every win matter. I know the Pro Tours have been doing this more recently with the adjusted match point system.
Yeah.
So even if you're 2-5, maybe play that last round if that could be valuable for you in terms of AMP. But here, this is a feeder for the Axion Now Invitational, so they can get there based on just total points from events played in. And also, if you top 8 one of these events, you do get invited back for that invitation as well. And that is a Pro Tour qualifier. That's not an RC qualifier.
Great, right?
That is Pro Tour qualifier.
Yeah, incredible stuff.
But Arch, queued for the Invitational.
Yep.
Already. Queued for the next 3 Pro Tours.
Yep.
And the next RC.
So it's in Cardiff purely for the Welsh cakes. I think
purely for the vibes and purely to support their friends that are playing in this.
No, exactly. Like
what they said to me.
There's the big gathering around the Axion gathering events tends to as well be a lot of pro players getting together to play high level.
Clues in the name, The Gathering.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Come for the magic, stay for the gathering, as I always say.
Although I am still feeling quite sideswiped by the Team Adonis aggro when I was out on the floor, like the new up and comers willing to fight everyone from the 0-3 bracket up. It's it was quite impressive. No, but shout out there, and that was hell of a little promo.
So Psychic Frog on the board, nice and safe from Will Hall. We have the Solitude Ephemerate in hand as well, so we at least know that's coming. Flicker Wisp on the Overlord. We're gonna be picking up cards and we need to chew through the Solitude Ephemerate at some point anyway.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You might as well just do it now. It's not an exact mirror wiretap, because I believe Arch is on just straight black-white, whereas Will has blue mana involved, so slightly better sideboard, with access to things like Consign to Memory and Psychic Frog and Quantum Riddler in the main deck. Psychic Frog, this isn't the best matchup for it.
No.
Fatal Push, Prismatic Ending, Solitude. Just a million answers to it.
It's a bit like in Standard right now when you can play Esper Pixie and Orsov Pixie, isn't it?
Yeah, they're similar. They're very similar decks and they play a lot of similar cards, but they don't quite play the exact same, especially post-board, where you do get more options from being 3 colors, but then you're also more at license to just lose to your own mana base. Less of a problem in Modern with fetch lands, but these Esper decks, they're playing Basic Plains and Psychic Frog in the same deck. That can not work the smoothest sometimes, especially if you're playing upwards of 3 Witch Enchanters as well.
So we're in for a bit of a back and forth battle on this particular one.
Yeah, these matches can be really, really swingy. Ketramos from Will is obviously a really valuable card, which is going to be triggering off of Arch's Relic.
Yeah.
Not on Arch's turn, so we can try and avoid that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Active Overlord on Archer's side, where it is going to be quite threatening, but we do see a Solitude and an Ephemerate in hand, so could have a little bit of a staring match over this There is a chance Will just fires this off now. So between Solitude exiling a card on the battlefield, Ephemerate exiling the Solitude, and then Solitude exiling something else on the way back down, you do actually draw roughly 1 million cards with this Ketramos as well.
Oh, you'll be casting Nurple as well. TBA on everyone. Wiretap on that one. I think obviously they're different. Fanfinity obviously do a lot of the Wizards guys, so maybe we'd like to put ourselves in tier 1, but I think
like
maybe
to, but I think
we might see some Corys and everyone like that come over, and we'll like Jim Davis's. They might make the short flight across to come see some sites, but we'd love to be involved. Obviously,
if anyone from Wizards is in the chat and listening to this,
we could be the B stream.
I'm more than happy to do that. I'm more than happy to co-stream. If they want us to play in it, we will obviously play in it. We can O2 drop. We can do a nice little vlog about it.
Yeah. we could be their roaming camp for the day. If you have all enjoyed that, like, let us know. Let Wizards know. Let the chat know.
Dave is determined to brand himself as the Martin Brundle of Magic the Gathering.
The Martin. I'll take it. I honestly will take it. Because even if I could just have an intern hold the camera, we'll level up even further, right? So, picking it up. We'll pick it up.
Arch shook their head there. I think there might have been a slight misstep where a Solitude was evoked in response to Will's Solitude, and Will used the Ephemerate to protect the Ketramos that the Solitude was being targeted at. Obviously, these are long events. Arch is an extremely accomplished Magic player. We know they are. We know they're better than probably everyone in chat.
It's 25 degrees in the UK as well, which
for the international viewers, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's 25.
If you're in Texas,
Celsius.
that would be like 45 degrees or like 110.
Yeah, all of our buildings are designed to keep heat in. And yes, we do have aircon in Firestorm Games in Cardiff in this lovely store that we're playing in. However, as soon as you step outside, you want to think, I want to get some fresh air. You then proceed to start roasting. Whitetap, let them know. If you like us and you like our commentary, then please let them know.
Why do we wear coats indoors?
Because our energy is extremely expensive as well.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
We simultaneously have houses that are designed to keep heat in, and then when there's no heat in them, you don't really want to be paying £400 a month for your energy bills, which can happen sometimes if you've got too much heating going on.
Very, very much the case that...
Also, we're British. We're genetically designed to complain about everything.
Yes. Sleeve watch. Another cracking set of sleeves from Arch on it.
Are they the Magic 30th anniversary
They sure are. They still have some of those on the go? Because I'm pretty sure they're out of print now.
I think they've won enough of them, probably.
It was probably an event. We'll have to ask them. Like,
just sitting at home with a case of them.
But whilst we are waiting in between games, if you're watching on YouTube, you may not be subbed. Something like 80% of you never are. So if you're sitting in the chat, if you hit the subscribe button, great. Obviously, if you're here on Twitch chat, hit the YouTube button and hit sub. I'm going to activate for all the chats a giveaway of Magic Online play points. So we hit 631 subs. That is literally, from last time I looked, 2 subs away.
2 subs away.
So, and then that is going to be when we give some more away. Thank you to Magic Online for supporting me and Will, and effectively Scott, to be in a position to know what we're talking about when we sit for hours.
Well, at least
Magic on a laptop.
At least pretend to know what we're talking about, right?
At least we've like played the card and then gone, oh, that's what it does. But
there's always going to be missteps. There's always going to be fun japes. I know plenty of people have had clips of Dave from this glorious day where he has just been a meme machine.
Well, what can I say? We should just be like FTC. Like there's OTC, like one tribal chief, right? Should be like FTC full the content. And that'd just be something we stick somewhere.
If any of you at home, by the way, heard one tribal chief and stuck your finger in the air, respect.
Yeah, you're the real true people. We're fundamentally baiting you all in with Magic content to one day just flip the channel to a wrestling podcast. That's all we're doing.
There's a weird amount of crossover between Magic the Gathering players and WWE.
Yeah, there actually is. Yeah, a strange amount. Maybe because we're all just grown-ups playing with toys.
Well, yeah. So Relic on turn 2 from Arch. Will just considering potentially consigning it, but probably wants to just get the Surveil land. So we're doing our best blue-white control, no creature impression here, just playing lands, playing out some trinkety little artifacts early on, and getting our Surveil lands to smooth our draws out. And then a flurry of activity is what we could assume. Normally around Overlords and Phelias and Emperor of Bones.
It's whoever sticks the third creature really in this matchup, isn't it? Like, because you can 1-for-1 each other, but once you've got the second, the 2-for-2 bounces it. It's the third creature sticking.
It's a little bit like how Will had to play against Mill earlier in the day, where you need the removal spells for the crabs. And you need exactly that many, and then you want to stick some threats.
Yeah.
You want to do the exact same thing here, where you have just enough removal to answer your opponent's threats, and then you're the one that ends up with the recurrent value from your threat. Whether that's a Psychic Frog, a Philia flickering something, even a Ketramos, which can go way over the top. Sneaky little Hallowed Fountain from Arch there. So they told me they were playing black-white. May have been a lie. Don't know what they could possibly need blue mana for. There could just be consigned to memory in the sideboard.
I think like the famous Mockingbird one splash when you can just when you can just do the blue splash.
Someone take a note of the time for how long it took for Dave to mention.
It's actually not too bad. Like 7 hours in, like whatever it is. That's actually not too bad.
Have we been streaming for 7 hours?
I think so. I'm
delirious at this point because time is an enigma at the best of times. Okay, so 3 mana available for Arch. No play for Will on turn 2. That is a Ketramos, the New Dawn. Will passes priority and allows that relic to be activated. So we could Solitude in response here. Will's letting it go.
I like Arch's position here, personally.
Yeah, it's quite a nice place to be. You do normally side in Celestial Purge in these matchups just because it answers the most important cards from your opponent, being Overlord of the Baelmerk and Ketramos itself. But just a Philia being cast for Will. The way these matches can go sometimes is what we might potentially see here, where one player has the Ketramos and is going way up on cards, and then the opponent just responds with Philia Baelmerk and tries to go not quite underneath them because they're also getting quite a lot of cards out of the deal, but just trying to match their freak.
Yeah.
And maybe you pick up a Solitude. Prismatic ending on the Ketramos is quite nice.
And it just straight goes, and Philia starts to do the thing.
Philia only attacking for 2, so only being a flash bear this game. Nothing just yet for Will, but Prismatic ending is quite a clean answer to that Ketramos. 2 mana being tapped. We might see a Prismatic ending. Yeah. So that Philia's been answered. We're doing the thing. We're back to... We've answered each other's threats. We'll play some more lands for a bit. We'll stare at each other.
So the next trigger point becomes for both of them they've hit the 3 mana point. I think it's whoever hits the 5 mana point and then can actually just hard cast the Baelmerks.
Yeah. So there is a Witch Enchanter in the land base for Will. So any Flicker Wisp is immediately threatening to an Overlord of the Baelmerk. Thoughtseize is basically we're just scouting this out. You want to be spending your mana, you want to be casting your spells, and we're just going to try and see what's going on with Archer's hand.
From a meme perspective, it's counter spell check.
Yeah. In this case, it might just be a Philia check.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We have successfully passed the Philia check.
Ding! It's level successful.
Yeah. Please advance to level 2 where... Graveyard Trespasser?
Yeah, it is. Witch Enchanter, Graveyard Trespasser, and Overlord of the Baelmerk.
So I would assume we're going to be taking the Overlord with this Thoughtseize, so...
I'd say so.
Arch to just untap, play the Overlord on Impending. Graveyard Trespasser might do some work this game. Witch Enchanter being available to clean up an Overlord potentially from Will's side of things is quite nice as well.
Yeah, straight
push on that Philia. So we are back to square one once again. Arch being able to play this Graveyard Trespasser into an empty board is pretty nice. It doesn't look like there's anything super juicy in Will's graveyard to exile with it yet, but we can at least start chewing away the Psychic Frog resources and get closer to turning Ketramos on for both players.
In these battles as well, just that ward discard of cards is harsh. It hurts really badly.
Arch exiling their own Philia from their graveyard. So just to get the drain in Will is down to 10 here, so especially if no spell gets cast here by Will, this Graveyard Trespasser is going to clock Will very, very quickly.
And it would be the usual play pattern here for Will to just pass, but it'll turn it into a 4/4 with a double drain potential.
Yes, exactly.
Which puts them on a 2-turn clock, which... Yeah, I don't feel like Will's themselves there. So here comes the Bones.
The Bone Man himself. So we can exile Archer's Overlord from their graveyard.
I'd say it's a good idea.
This is also going to take away some of the fuel for Graveyard Trespasser.
But they're cracking the Relic instead. Were they?
Yeah. So Relic activated in response, stopping the option of Will being able to get the 2 Overlord of the Baelmerk triggers off of the Adapt on the Emperor of Bones. Obviously, it puts onto the battlefield with haste, so you get the enter the battlefield and the attack trigger. And it's what we said before the match, right? Where we're fighting over some micro details, so not letting Will get the triggers off that Overlord of the Baelmerk, even if it is making the Graveyard Trespassers significantly worse. Not removing the drain capabilities, but it's still a 3/3 in the face of a 2/2.
And if you are now just lumbering in, because the goat himself, Five Shoes, has just retweeted. Well, welcome to being awake, Rob. Good to see you. This does seem to be quite a healthy spot for Will. Not forgetting as well, just for those who are like lurking in the stream and around, the Magic Online Creator Showdown begins shortly. And so once this action finishes, you'll be going straight into the top 8 of a 5K.
Nice.
Because, people like Fire Shoes and your Menguchis. Everyone I like are going to be fighting it out for a bunch of cash, literal cash, not magical cardboard stuff, just like... And the finale of that, because we're taking it, obviously, Creator Showdowns are taking a little bit of a different angle now going forward. But again, Magic Online, totally about supporting competitive 60-card play, which is why we're here too, which is why we love them. Shout out all the boys and girls over at Daybreak Games for making all this happen.
Yeah, everyone at Daybreak really just doing the best work possible with what is ostensibly Microsoft Excel with spaghetti code.
Yeah, exactly. They've been doing a great job in Mid-Go. We love Pauper, we love Modern. Basically, it's not always that cheap to leave the house to go play. So having a decent platform to play where it's not just made up automation is great.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And they've done such a good job since they've taken over. Like we all sympathize, especially for those of us who got an IT background in the chat. Like they've had to inherit and they've had to make do. And they've done really, really well with what they got.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Daybreak. Everything they've managed to do with the software since they took control of it, they've done really, really well. So Fatal Push on that Graveyard Trespasser.
There will be a discard.
We have a Ward trigger, discarding a Flicker Wisp. So
makes sense.
Taking that Flicker Wisp away, this obviously doesn't look great for Arch, where we're losing the blocker, we're losing the attacker. Will's at 6. Discarding the extra Psychic Frog to the current Psychic Frog as well. So some reasonable attacking threat here.
Yeah. And as we say, like, it's usually about sticking the third creature, but what we mean by that is like having the +1 creature will now sitting at 2. The Emperor of Bones can make the third potentially, but the graveyards are empty, so a lot of fuel to the fire isn't around.
Yeah, Arch just cycling that Relic of Progenitus. Will's got to feel good about the position he's in now. A Surveil taking away the extra land as well, so Bones and Frog coming in for 4 damage. Arch's last turn was just land go as well.
Yeah.
So nothing really going on for Arch. Extra card off the Psychic Frog. So normally these decks do play a higher than average number of Surveil lands.
Yeah.
And there's the second Shadowy Backstreet, so
trigger go.
There is every chance here that Arch's hand is just some Consigned to Memories or maybe even an Overlord of the Baelmerk, that sort of thing. From Arch's perspective, I think if they have some 5s, they might be in an okay position here. Surveilling the extra land away. We will need to find an answer to the Psychic Frog and the Emperor of Bones at some point. Ketramos is at least a start where we can start really going up in terms of cards, and it is going to be online. I think we've seen 3 different Relic of Progenitus cracked in this game, so we are going to have enough cards.
Yeah, it's incredible.
another land from Arch, and the draw off the Psychic Frog was Ophelia.
Okay.
So I think if Arch's hand is blanks,
Yeah, that is a good win, 'cause-
Ophelia, remove the Catrimos, hit you for 6, and the Catrimos trigger is enough to get the job done. So
Will takes it. 2-0.
Arch's draw's just not really coming together there. This is obviously a very powerful deck. We've seen Esper and Black-White doing really well in the field today. Even though people were aware of it, people were ready for it and prepared for it. And we even saw Torpor about the sideboard of a Grixis Reanimator deck.
Yeah.
But people are ready for this deck, and it's still performing. Just draw's not quite lining up for Arch there. Will just about getting there. After I talked absolute smack about Psychic Frog and why it's not good in this matchup, it proceeded to pretty much solo game 2 there.